Okay, let us start with this session, current session. Good evening, Mohana. How are you? Let us start with today's session. And here now, we are first and foremost going to speak about AI. So AI pay, what we did was we had looked into last time the conference that happened in India. All right, and we had looked into we had overall looked into what are the benefits and all of AI. Now, what we will do is we will take into consideration the hazards of AI as put in by the 5I intelligence. All right. First and foremost, tell me what is 5I intelligence? If anybody can mention it, what is 5I intelligence?
कनाडा, यूएसए, यूके, ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड न्यूजीलैंड का एक ग्रुप है वो।
ठीक है, ठीक है. So 5I intelligence basically, as Subranil was stating, now 5I intelligence basically is an intelligence. It is alliance of intelligence. So intelligence agencies of 5 countries: US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Okay, what they do is they basically share their intelligence. And this organization was initially formed for the purpose of keeping an eye on Soviet Union. So it is an organization which was formed during the Cold War. ठीक है, और इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का काम था सोवियत यूनियन पे नजर रखना एंड न्यूज रिलेटेड टू सोवियत यूनियन और इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटेड टू सोवियत यूनियन ना दे यूज्ड टू शेयर विद ईच अदर. ऑल राइट, now what they are doing is they are focusing mainly on the emerging problems of the world. They are basically focusing on emerging problems of the world. अब ये कहने की बात है, ठीक है. Actually, realistically, they are basically focusing on the movements of China. Okay, and the way in which China is interacting, the way in which China is behaving. That is basically the focus of 5 agency, 5 alliance. All right, what it has stated, what it has stated in recent times, what it has stated is in months, AI model will be capable of paralyzing governments. It will be capable of disrupting businesses. Okay, and therefore world leaders and the countries of the world have to act. This is what 5 alliance has said. ठीक है, मूविंग अहेड. जब ये लोग बात करते हैं व्हेन दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम्स दैट एआई विल क्रिएट, तो व्हाट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, व्हिच टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स अकॉर्डिंग टू देम विल बी क्रिएटेड बाय एआई specifically. First and foremost, first and foremost, what they say is AI will support or remove barriers of malicious actors. तो अगर मुझे कुछ खराब करना है, ठीक है, if I want to do something nasty, Viraj Rane, if he wants to do something nasty with respect to government website or government infrastructures, AI will help me in that. What they are saying is it will become easy for a malicious agent like me to enter into the systems and paralyze them. All right, पहले क्या होता था, you would have to learn it. Now AI takes that away from you. At a click of a button, what you can do is you can cause interruption, you can cause policy paralysis, you can cause infrastructural paralysis. It will enable an inexperienced hacker to launch an attack at unprecedented scale and with unprecedented speed. बहुत साल पहले, many years ago, almost for half a day na, electricity of Mumbai was basically taken away. ठीक है, आधा दिन मुंबई में लाइट नहीं था. There was no light in Mumbai for half a day. It was some 5-6 years ago. ठीक है, first it was considered कि there must be some hardware problem with respect to transmission, but it was also unprecedented for the reason that the electricity that comes to Mumbai and the areas around Mumbai na, it comes from different transmission lines. ठीक है, तो source of electricity of all over Mumbai is not the same. Hence, A detailed investigation was conducted, and it was then concluded that it is basically hacking agents of China. It was basically एक minute, it was basically the hacking agents of China that have led to that basically created the situation in which through cyber attack electricity in Mumbai could be disrupted. Now what will happen in future? It will grow. And taking into consideration security of the country, now electricity supply to a major city, ये तो preliminary है. This is just preliminary. Imagine the same being happening to our defense radars. Imagine the same being happening, say, to our nuclear power reactors. All right. So that is the difficulty which we will face in future. Next, what AI will also do is it will be capable of hiding. It will be capable of hiding the agent that has caused the cyber attack. So there is something called as identity and access management. AI will put it into mess. AI will put it into chaos. It will shield the problem maker. What it will also do is it will create a situation in which organizations and countries will have to invest more, with respect to monitoring of their attacks. Also, what it has said is, the problem generated by humans and assisted by AI is something that we are still in the stage of calibration. Now consider the problem created by AI and supported by AI. Now it may sound like a movie, ठीक है, जैसे टर्मिनेटर में था. You guys must have been very small, या फिर आप लोग, you must have not been born also when Terminator series came out. When the first movie came out, even I was not born. But the basic crux of that movie was कि humans created technology. At that point of time, AI, artificial intelligence, was not the name. They basically created technology which led to independent thinking of machines. And then machines felt that they should take over the world. ठीक है. So that is also a possibility in which 5i agency or alliance is looking into. All right. Next, what the 5i agency talks about, or 5i alliance talks about, कि offensive capabilities of these particular agents will increase manifold if the same is done by the help of the state. The budget that state has for the purpose of developing artificial intelligence and for the purpose of using it to spread malicious agents in cyberspace, it is unimaginable. Until and unless a private hacker does it, it can still be controlled. But if a state does it with its budget and its manpower, it will be very difficult. To keep it under control or bring it under control. Western governments, therefore, are looking into the possibility of not allowing foreign nationals to assess high and advanced AI models. So this is already happening. Discrimination on the basis of AI is already being seen. But it is for security reasons, obviously. Okay, it is basically for security reasons. Moving on. Oh. Okay, moving on. What has to be done? Now tell me, if AI is causing so much of problems, shouldn't it be banned? Shouldn't orientation towards AI should be stopped? What do you think? अगर AI से इतना प्रॉब्लम होने वाला है, if we know that AI is going to cause so much of problems to us, to human race, should we continue with AI? Yes.
सर बैन करना सॉल्यूशन नहीं है सर।
Okay.
सर
Then
हमें
tell me the solution.
सर एक था कि जैसे लोग एआई का यूज करके सर बहुत अलग अलग तरीके की है ना डॉक्टरेट वीडियोस और फोटोज वगैरह जनरेट कर लेते हैं। तो सर
Hmm.
उसके लिए सॉल्यूशन ये था अ, कि ऐसे कंपलसरी कर देना चाहिए कि जो भी चीज एआई से जनरेट करी जाएगी तो उस पर एक वाटरमार्क लगाया जाएगा कि एआई जनरेटेड है।
Hmm.
तो सर एक
But you
सॉल्यूशन तो
cannot
ये है।
always control that, na? But you cannot always control that. I agree with you, but you cannot always control that. ठीक है. For example, if suppose Al Qaeda creates
यस
a
सर।
video out of AI, ठीक है, तो वो लोग तो नहीं डालेंगे. What you are saying is कि जिस प्लेटफॉर्म पे बनता है उन प्लेटफॉर्म के लिए ये कंपलसरी होना चाहिए
हाँ सर
कि
कि
वो,
प्लेटफॉर्म को
हाँ,
खुद कर
लेबल
देना
लगे.
चाहिए
राइट
कि वो
राइट.
खुद
आई
वाटरमार्क
एग्री.
लगा दे।
आई एग्री. ठीक है. शुभ्रनील, व्हाट अबाउट यू? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? मोहना, व्हाट डू यू फील? देखो, रिमेंबर वन पर्टिकुलर लाइन एंड यूज इट इन आंसर्स और इन योर एसे whenever it is, whenever it allows. ठीक है, तो जबरदस्ती नहीं, but whenever it allows. The line
Sir,
is, हाँ, tell me.
sometimes right to privacy is affected, sir, first thing. And to control this, currently there are no measures, but we can take in aspects like setting some ground standards. Sorry,
Hmm.
sir. Like setting ground standards for to upload certain criteria should be created so that
Hmm.
the videos which are uploaded should not have contents that children do not watch or adults only. Like that we can segregate the videos. Like such kind of initiatives can be brought.
Hmm. Hmm. ठीक है. ठीक है. देखो, remember one line that I say now. Write it down if you want. You can use it in your answers in your essays. विक्टर ह्यूग का ये लाइन है. विक्टर ह्यूग is considered to be one of the best thinkers that we had in the last 2 centuries. वो अपने बुक में लिखते हैं, he writes in his book, you can stop an army of 10,000 soldiers, but you cannot stop the idea whose time has come. ठीक है. You can stop an army of 10,000 soldiers, but you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. With respect to AI, because of technological evolution, what has happened is its time has come. Whether we like it or we do not like it, it is here to stay. It is here to stay. The same was said about internet. ठीक है. The same was said about internet. The same was said about computers. If you look into it now, so computers were seen to be something that will cause disruption to human life, human source of income. It was considered that once computers come in, what basically will happen is humans will become unemployed. Humans will become unemployed, and it will cause great deal of trouble to whom? Middle classes and lower classes. All right. That is why many countries in the world in 1980s basically banned computers. In fact, in India there was one state which had banned computers for 10 years. It had banned computers for 10 years. Can you name the state? In India there was one state which had banned computers for 10 years. Can you name that state? It was West Bengal. West Bengal had banned computers in 1990s, thinking that it will take away jobs. What happened because of it? West Bengal remained behind. West Bengal remained behind for a particular period of time because it will not cope up with the deficiency of information technology that the state had. Okay. Now it has pushed itself, but at that point of time, now it did have problems with respect to competing with other states and cities in India. That is why what we see is no major city in Bengal in that way could emerge as a cyber hub. We see that in other states of India. Na, for example, Maharashtra has Pune, ठीक है, या it has Pimpri Chinchwad, ठीक है, Chennai, is growing as a technological hub or a IT hub. Same goes with Hyderabad, same goes with Bangalore, take a same goes with Kochi. But the same did not happen with any city in, I will say West Bengal. Now I'm why specifically stating West Bengal, matlab it did not happen in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar also. All right, it did not happen in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar also, or it did not happen in Madhya Pradesh also. Okay. Specifically, I am talking about West Bengal because in terms of literacy, it was on par with the states, that is Maharashtra, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Karnataka, okay, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. It was on par with the states, but there was no digital literacy as such. Matlab they lost 10 years. They basically lost 10 years. So AI will be there, and we have to adopt to AI. What we can do is we can find the ways through which we can basically find the ways through which what we can do with AI, we can use it rather than getting used by it. All right, we can use it rather than getting used by it. All right, for that, what has to be done? For that, what has to be done? First and foremost, there has to be priority given to defense mechanism. There has to be priority given to defense mechanism. It requires a societal approach towards AI and not just organizational approach towards AI. Now, this is important. This you have to write in your answer. The problems that may arise out of AI, it requires first and foremost, as I told you, a defensive mechanism, and this defensive mechanism has to be created not just from an organization point of view. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ विप्रो ने बना लिया अपने लिए, ठीक है, या फिर I will say Infosys has built it for itself, yeah, Amazon has built it for itself, yeah, India has built it for itself. It has to be societal in approach, ठीक है, taking into consideration what norm a particular society will accept when it comes to accepting AI itself. And second is, it has to be also considered from the point of view of global outlook. ठीक है, global outlook. So defense mechanism of AI has to be built with societal approach and global approach, both. And these two words have to be in your answer so that there is better cooperation amongst people. Cooperation is necessary because this problem is universal. This problem will be universal. It will not confine itself to a single city, a single province, a single nationality, or a single region of the world for that matter. Okay, or a single region of the world for that matter. Okay. Businesses must embed cyber resilience across people. So it is also, as it is the function of nationals, as it is the functions of national governments, it is also the function of businesses. Okay, it is also the function of businesses. There has to be better collaboration, as I told you, between countries, and there has to be better collaboration between countries and businesses. Third thing, there has to be better collaboration between these two and research institutes or research organization. Because whatever solutions basically you will find now, you will basically find it and majoritarily find it through research organizations. Why? Governments in that way are not expertise of AI. What they can do is they can pay some expertise. Okay, they can make some policies, but they cannot totally focus on this particular issue. Second thing, businesses are there to make profits and cut losses. All right, so their focus will be on something else. But when it comes to research organization, their whole focus is on this only. You give them a research problem and they will focus all their energies, all their resources on how to solve that problem. So research organizations will become more important, which we had forgotten for so many years, especially in India. All right. The most effective way of fighting or combating AI-driven cyber attacks is by integrating AI tools into defensive and security operations. Matlab, when you build an AI platform, it itself should have defensive mechanism within itself. So it should not be the case. It basically should not be the case you have created AI, but you do not know how to control it. So it should not be like, Brahmastra, which was used by Ashwathama. It should be like a Brahmastra used by Arjun. Arjun could control it, hence it did not cause destruction. Okay, Ashwathama could not control it. Hence what he did was he committed an act of sin. I hope you are getting it. AI itself will help in defense of cyber security. AI itself will help in defense of cyber security. What you have to do is You have to create such platforms in which defense mechanism is inbuilt, in which defense mechanism basically is inbuilt. All right. What I want you to do now, what I want you to do now is write down, I want you to write down 5 specific uses of AI from 5 different fields, I will say. एक ही फील्ड से नहीं, 5 अलग-अलग फील्ड से I want you to write the use of AI. ठीक है? Can you do it? I will give you 3 minutes. 3
Okay,
मिनट से
sir.
ज्यादा नहीं लगना चाहिए. अच्छा ठीक है, take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes. All right. I want you to write 5 uses of AI from 5 different fields. चलो, start. ओके, तो लेट अस सी. बहुत अच्छे, वेरी गुड शुभ्रनील. डूइंग असाइनमेंट्स मतलब क्या? ठीक है, ओके मोहना. Good, Moana. I especially like the last point of e-governance. Very nice, very nice. Proud of you, beta. Very nice. Good. यश,
यस सर.
चलो जल्दी.
सर व्हाट्सएप पे भेज दिया सर.
व्हाट्सएप पे भेज दिया. ओके ओके, एक
यस
मिनट,
सर.
लेट मी सी, लेट मी सी. गुड, बहुत अच्छे. बहुत अच्छे. अरे भाई, तुम लोग जब लिख सकते हो, देन व्हाई डू यू शाई अवे फ्रॉम राइटिंग इफ यू कैन राइट सो वेल? है, लिखते क्यों नहीं हो? चलो, लेट अस नाउ मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट न्यूज. Okay. Now, next news is important for us from the point of view of economy, from the point of view of, in economy also. Now what I will say is from the point of view of uh, employment generation, from the point of view of tertiary sector, and I will say from the point of view of ecology. It is also important from the point of view of, I will say, ecology के बाद IR, international relations. ठीक है, it is also important for us from the point of view of international relations and to certain extent science and technology. All right, from the point of view of science and technology, so what is it? So India has become ship recycling hub of the world. Ship recycling hub of the world. So out of total ships that are recycled in the world now, matlab they are modified, they are changed. Out of that, 35.4% of it, 35.4% of that work is carried out in India. ठीक है, 35.4% of the work is carried out in India. Now, if we take into consideration a public policy that matches with it, तो इसके साथ ना, if there is a question on ship recycling, there has to be a mention of Maritime India Vision 2030. Maritime India Vision 2030. And in fact, the number targets that we have kept for ships recycling in Maritime India Vision 2030, we have already met that targets. कितना? 6 साल पहले. Now what basically is the reason for India being in a way a ship recycling hub of the world? What are the reasons? देखो, first and foremost, cheap labor. Ship recycling is an industry, it is a sector in which you require a lot of labors and you require cheap labor. So that is available in India. That basically is available with India. Second thing, you also basically require trained labor in that particular field. So this ship recycling wala field is the field na, in which India has been a player for many decades. Hence, this has arrived to be a field in which we do get skilled laborers. ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना, दिस स्किल्ड लेबर्स आर नॉट फ्रॉम अ फॉर्मल, इट इज द प्रॉब्लम इज कि दिस स्किल्ड लेबर्स आर नॉट फ्रॉम अ फॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और इंस्टीट्यूशन. they basically are from what you can say is training by taking on site activities. तो जैसे I am unemployed, ठीक है, what I will do is I will enroll myself for work somewhere. Maybe it is a ship recycling unit. वहां पे on site I will learn. There is no formal training institute for it. Whatever the case might be, the first two pluses for India are, सबसे पहला plus is from the point of view of cheap labor being available. Second is from the point of view of trained labor being available. although that trained labor is trained not from a formal organization, which is a challenge that we'll look into also. Third point, India's coastline and number of ports in India. All right, what does it allow? It allows a large intake. Dekho, the same can be done by Vietnam also. But in number terms, na Vietnam will lag behind. Why? Because population is less and Vietnam ka coastline is also less in comparison to India. All right. Fourth, I would say the position of India geographically. So India is located at the crossroads, maritime crossroads of Africa, West Asia and East Asia. ठीक है, तो in that way, these major maritime countries now find it easy to transport their ships to India. They basically find it easy to transport their ships to India. Third I will say the climatology of India. ठीक है, देखो India is a humid country, so that in a way ship recycling में वो एक hurdle है, India being a humid country. But what is the benefit of it? That Indian waters are not frozen. ठीक है, Indian waters are not frozen. So access to Indian waters is available all 365 days a year. Second, India is also not a country which faces frequent cyclones other than some part of the eastern coast. That is Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Other than that, if you take into consideration Indian coastline, now it is not that attacked, I will say, by cyclones. All right. Also, what we see is the pirate activities in the areas around India have come down significantly. What it allows, therefore, is to bring your ship to India safely. It allows India to, bring the ship safely. Next, what I will say is, what I will say is, with respect to ship recycling, now, companies that are present in India are in huge numbers, and what does it bring? It brings economic efficiency. It basically brings economic efficiency. So we do not have one big multinational company which is focused upon ship recycling. We have number of smaller companies which can do the same work at economical cost, at basically a very economical cost, and that gives benefit to us. Last but not the least, we have a policy on it, India Maritime Policy, which is focused upon it. The government is also taking a conscious decision to expand this field of business. ठीक है. Now tell me, what are the problems related to this? मतलब अच्छा है, everything is in India's favor. But remember, we also had one more thing in India's favor at one point of time, and that was converting Mumbai into international financial hub. When I was preparing for my UPSC, or even before that, now it was felt that international financial hubs are concentrated in North America, and I will say Western Europe. So basically it was London and New York, which were considered to be international financial hubs. What was needed, especially after the economic crisis of 2008, there had to be decentralization of these financial hubs. So all financial institutions should not be located at one place, or they should not be, decision making of these financial institutions should not take place from one place. It has to be from different places, right? It had to be from different places. At that point of time, it was felt that Mumbai can be one city. Okay? At least for South Asia and East Asia, Mumbai can be that city. But what basically happened? South Asia, East Asia and West Asia, I will say, Mumbai could be that city. So in this ecosystem, in India and its extended neighborhood, Mumbai could be that city. But what basically happened? We lost. And we lost to whom? We lost to Dubai. We lost to Singapore. So Singapore and Dubai emerged as international financial centers, international business centers. Because everything that I said now with respect to ship recycling and it being in India's favor, same was the case with respect to Mumbai when it came to it becoming international financial hub, it becoming international business hub. Okay, India was an emerging economy. We had started getting into better physical infrastructure. We already had good cyber infrastructure. as competitive as the developed part of the world, but still we could not do it. Why? Because we waited and we kept on waiting. We felt things will come to us. As soon as there was collapse of global economy due to international financial crisis in 2008, we felt things will come to us. Who acted more proactively? It was Singapore and UAE. And what was the result of it? Singapore emerged to be an international financial hub. Dubai emerged to be an international business hub. Along with Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Both part of the same country. A small country of the size of Mumbai. That is UAE. Now tell me what will be the problems with respect to India maintaining this position as international ship recycling hub. What according to you will be the challenges that you have to note it down? You tell me 3 challenges according to you. Write it down. 3 challenge तुम्हारे हिसाब से क्या हो सकता है? What could be 3 challenges according to you? Write it down. ठीक है? And then we will discuss. चलो. बहुत अच्छे, very good. Shubhranil, very nice. क्या हुआ बाकी लोगों को? Okay. So points that Shubhranil had written, they are correct. देखो, first problem with respect to this industry will be कि it does not have formally trained employees. ठीक है? When you do not have formally trained employees, ना, please take into consideration the first casualty will be safety. ठीक है? The first casualty will be safety. And with respect to Indian ship recycling industry, what has been noted is safety is the last priority. All right, safety is not the first priority. It is basically the last priority. So it would and it has cost human lives. Second problem is from the point of view of environment. देखो, we have signed the Hong Kong Declaration. ठीक है? तो Hong Kong Declaration basically is the one. Hong Kong Declaration basically is the one which provides for which international Hong Kong International Convention is basically the one which provides for safety measures when it comes to environment, and we have signed it. We have basically signed it, but we have not completely implemented the provisions of it. We have not completely implemented the provisions of it. And because we have not completely implemented the provisions of it, now there has been criticism of India that we do not take care of environment with respect to the ship recycling industry. All right, the pollutants that come out of this particular sector, they are causing problems to the marine life of the area. Next problem with respect to ship recycling industry is area wise it is not decentralized. If you take into consideration, there is a place in Gujarat, a port in Gujarat called as Alang. Ship recycling industry is concentrated in this particular port, and this port is overworking. This port basically is overworking. What has to be done? It has to be decentralized. There are so many ports in India, and there is so much of coastline in India that we can build new ports only and only for the purpose of ship recycle. Okay. At this point of time, we only have one port which is focused upon it, and it is overworking. It is overburdened. That is the next problem with respect to the industry that we are speaking. with respect to the industry that we are speaking. Next problem, as Subranil has written down, na, it will call for competitive federalism. More than competitive, it will call for combating federalism. Matlab everybody, every state will want the piece of the pie. All right, we'll want piece of pie. Everybody will want port in the vicinity. Everybody will want port in the vicinity of their state, so that the state can also get economically benefited. And for that reason, what may basically happen is policy paralysis might take place, because it is also not possible to ekdam equitably allocate resources in different states for creation of such ports. Dekho, creation of such ports requires lot of capital. And that capital cannot be alone funded by the state government. It will require the help of central government, or jaise hi it will require the help of central government, the acquisitions will start, fingers will be pointed. All right, that may cause therefore policy paralysis. Next problem with respect to building of the ports itself is land acquisition, which is not easy in India. It is land acquisition which is not easy in India. Therefore, building more ports will be difficult from the point of view of monetary resources, from the point of view of land resources. Even if you have money, people are not willing to give up their places. What is the most important problem with respect to land acquisition in India? Mohana, tell me why it is so difficult to acquire land in India. Matlab in Western countries, na, it is not such a big headache. Okay? In fact, people will be happy if their lands are taken away and adequate compensation is provided to them. Why is it in India that land acquisition is such a big problem? Tell me, Mohana. Give me 2 reasons for it. Then I will come to Yash.
सर मैं बताऊं सर सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही
Yes,
सर
tell me. Go ahead.
सर पहला रीजन तो ये सर कि इंडिया में सर लोगों को अपने लैंड से बहुत ज्यादा प्यार है क्योंकि उनके पुराने
Yes.
ट्रेडिशनल कल्चरल वैल्यूज बहुत ज्यादा उनसे लिंक्ड है
ठीक
और
है,
दूसरा सर मेरे को लगता है सर दूसरा ये कि लोगों को लगता है कि अगर वो गवर्नमेंट को अपना लैंड देंगे तो गवर्नमेंट उनको जो लैंड का प्राइस देगी वो जो उनको बाहर से मिल सकता है उससे बहुत ज्यादा कम प्राइस
right,
देगी
right, right. And this happens. Okay, so Yash is right. Okay, there are 2-3 problems. Actually, this is not the direct topic that we'll be discussing today, but okay, we can look into some points. The first problem, as Yash said, na, in India, people are too much into their lands as such. Okay, they are attracted or they are emotionally connected to land. You can put it that way. They are emotionally connected to land. Land in India is not just a monetary, possession. It is also social possession. It is basically also a social possession, and it has been for a long time. And it was same in Western countries also, though in Western countries they have moved on. Okay, in India they have not, people have not moved on. So in India, land is a social status rather than just a monetary status. Okay, first problem is that. Second problem is now this is very technical. Please understand this. People do not know what they will do if their land is taken away. Economically, what they will do if their land is taken away. Understand this. Ek admi who has not done anything in his life other than farming, how he will spend his life or her life? He does not have acumen of any other business. Okay? he or she does not have formal training with respect to any employable skills. Farming is something that he knows, and because of farming, what has been happening? He has been able to, in a way, keep himself busy. Second thing, he is able to earn money. अब कोई ये भी बोल सकता है, some people might say कि you may get such money that you do not have to work again. यहाँ पे ना you have to take into consideration that working is not just an economic activity, it is also an emotional activity. ठीक है, if suppose someone gives me 1 crore and tells me कि for the next 1 year you do not have to work at all, ठीक है, for next 1 year you do not have to work at all, it may sound good, but if I do not work, then who am I? That is an existential question, na? A person who is working in a farmland, for him, his identity is of being a farmer. But if he is not farming, then who is he? That identity question kills people. Not literally kills people, but it makes, खोखला कर देता है एक इंसान. On many occasions, this particular question does not allow a farmer to give away his land because he does not know what he will do without it. And in India, people have lived in such existential crisis, I would say in such crisis ना, कि उनके लिए, for them, keeping on with some or the other economic activity is necessary. देखो, अगर कोई मेरे को 1 करोड़ भी देता है, if somebody pays me 1 crore and says कि Viraj, for the next 1 year you will not do anything, I hope someone does that. But suppose this is the case, immediately what will come to my mind? What will I do after 1 year? If I do not teach, if I do not make videos, if I do not make content, people will forget me in 1 year. तो 1 साल के बाद what I will do? 1 साल के बाद what I will do? Third thing is basically, as Yash said, compensations are not enough on many occasions. ठीक है, government acquires property at a very low rate, and then what happens is the price of that property basically rises. And what it basically leads to? It leads to dissatisfaction amongst people. So people are not willing to give away their land even if they want to give away their land. So for example, if I want this land to go away because I am not that interested in farming, but even then I will not let that land go away. Why? Because I know the prices will rise as the time goes by. All right. Also, people have seen what has been the condition of those who have let their land go. Now, this is true with respect to the areas around Delhi and the areas around Pune. Pune, I have seen it. Literally, I have seen it. Okay, people got good prices for their land. उन जगहों पे क्या हुआ? IT parks came up. All right. And once you get that amount of money in short period of time, now you will have the habit of spending and overspending. So at one point of time, now every house in Pune or villages around Pune had Scorpio. सबके पास Scorpio है. ले धनाधन सब Scorpio चला रहे. Everybody is riding Scorpio. In 3 or 4 years, what happened is this overspending का आदत ना, that led them or pushed them into poverty. They had good money. Let me repeat, they had good money, but they did not have any training in. They did not basically have any training in investment. They did not have any training in carrying out businesses. Okay, many of those who got money invested in hotel industry. Hotel बना दिया on Mumbai Pune highway or near Mumbai Pune expressway. Okay, what happened about that hotel? It collapsed. Why did it collapse? भाई आपको आदत नहीं है. You do not have the experience of running the hotel. All right, you do not have the experience of running the hotel. So people are afraid that what will happen if this money goes away, if we overspend it. So that is the reason now land acquisition is not that popular. Okay, on land acquisition now we will have a detailed discussion someday, but these are the reasons why land acquisition is not so popular in India. Okay, moving on now. So we have also discussed the problems related to this industry in India. All right. Now, what is the position of India and what is the governmental orientation with respect to this sector? Let us look at it. First and foremost, we already have we already have something called as Recycling of Shipping Act 2019, which provides legal framework for shipping recycling in India. So one good thing is we at least have a law. We at least have a law on this particular topic. All right. And that law, what it does is, एक minute, I have a very important, I'm so sorry. I have a very important phone call. Just give me. Okay. Okay. So the law na, Shubhranil, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Recycling of Ships Act 2019. Recycling of Ships Act 2019. बेटा शुभ्रनील ये मैंने दिया था इन नोट्स. You did not read the notes ना. नोट्स में था ये. Okay. Thing, our act na, it is aligned to our act. This particular act, Recycling of Ships Act 2019, it is aligned with Hong Kong International Convention, and we have signed the convention also, and we have ratified the convention also. All right. So what we see is we are in sync with international practices. Though there is question and there is criticism with respect to India completely implementing the provisions of this convention. India completely implementing the provisions of this convention. All right. Also, please remember that Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways has provided finance of, or it had provided assistance of rupees 53 crores for modernization of ship recycling yards. It has provided the fund of rupees 53 crores. Now this amount is also so small na, that this itself is a problem. This amount is so small that this particular amount is itself a problem. ठीक है. Next. The government has extended support to build 115 shipping facilities on the lines of Alang Port in Gujarat. 115 facilities government ready करने के लिए तैयार है on the lines of Alang Port in Gujarat. All right. Also, there is a plan to expand Alang Port itself, Alang Yard itself. Now tell me the benefits that will come to India. Now you have to tell me the benefits that will come to India if we harness this opportunity in the right manner. थोड़ा हम लोग opposite direction में आ गए. We first should have discussed the benefits, then challenges, then the way out. But कोई बात नहीं. Now tell me the benefits that India should take into consideration, and then we'll look into the way out. Benefit तुम लोग बताओ, way out we will discuss. Tell me the benefits. Write it down. आज तो लिखवाऊंगा तुमसे बेटा. Think, write.
सर एक बार रिपीट कर दीजिए सर.
Think about the benefits. Yes, benefits क्या होंगे if this particular field we can harness it well ना, तो think about the benefits.
ओके सर.
Okay. Very good. Now, Shubranil, I want you to write one or two points with respect to IR. ठीक है, IR में ये कैसे हेल्प करेगा? Write one or two points on it. Good, Shubranil. Very nice. Very nice. Mona, you are not writing? Yes, good points. But you have to specifically mention how. देखो, one important factor with respect to international relations na, think in point of view, think about international relations from the point of dependence. All right. Dependency, what it will do is it will increase the value of India in international circles. if we create this dependence. All right, now take into consideration the benefits. Just give me 1 minute. Chai mera de raha hu. Just I'm about to finish. Huh? Just give me 1 minute.
सर एक क्वेश्चन था सर।
Yes, tell me.
सर जैसे आपने बोला कि आईआर के बेसिस पे हमें बताना है, तो सर हमें ऐसे जो आंसर लिखेंगे उसके अंदर हमें डिपेंडेंस के ऊपर ज्यादा फोकस करना है, या फिर सर ऐसे कि हम दोनों कंट्री के रिलेशंस के ऊपर बात कर सकते हैं?
बिल्कुल दोनों
ऐसा?
पे करना है. Talk about
ठीक
both.
है, ठीक है सर।
Talk about both and try to do it. Yes, try to do it in a single point. ऑलराइट, एक ही पॉइंट पे ना दोनों चीजें आपको लेके जानी है. डिपेंडेंसी ऑल्सो एंड आई वुड से गुड रिलेशंस और कोऑर्डिनेशन ऑल्सो ड्यू टू दिस फील्ड. देखो इससे क्या होगा ना, पहली बात तो वन इंपॉर्टेंट होराइजन ऑफ इंडिया ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ विच इट कैन इंटरेक्ट विद अदर कंट्रीज दैट विल इंक्रीज. तो जितने ज्यादा होराइजन रहेंगे इंटरेक्ट करने के, उतने ज्यादा रिलेशंस. ठीक है, द मोर द होराइजन ऑफ इंटरेक्टिंग विद एनी अदर कंट्री, द मोर द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ हैविंग गुड रिलेशंस विद दोस कंट्रीज. सेकंड इज इट विल इंक्रीज डिपेंडेंसी ऑन इंडिया. It will increase dependency of India on India. So you guys have written mainly important pointers. Still I will repeat them. First is labor intensive industry. This is a labor intensive industry. Okay, there will be generation of employment. There will be vast generation of employment. Second point is from the point of view of okay, logistics developing, that cluster developing. All right, not just ship rebuilding or ship recycling, but associated fields will also get developed because of it. Okay. Third, I would say from the point of view of economy, as Shubhranil has written, it will bring in capital, it will bring in foreign investments. Okay. Fourth, I will say from the point of view of competitiveness. Why? Because it will push us towards better technology. Many ships that come over there, now we will learn from them, and as we learn from them, what we will do is we'll better our technology itself. Next is from the point of view of that scrap that will be available from these ships. That scrap can be our raw material for the new industries, for other industries, not new but other industries. ठीक है, वैसे भी what we import is iron, we import steel. ठीक है, that is available through this particular scrap. We can use it in our industries. That will be cheaper also. है ना, it will be cheaper also. It will therefore help. ठीक है. So these are the major pointers, including IR wala pointers that you have to take into. All right, not just economy, but take into consideration IR also. ठीक है. Now what has the government to do? What should government basically do more? First and foremost, institutionalize the training for the purpose of ship rebuilding industry. Institutionalized training, skill building. That should be the first orientation of the government. Second, create it or orient it to be a sunrising industry. Once you label it as a sunrise industry, now what will happen is financial mobilization will be much easier. ठीक है, एक बार आप उसको सनराइज इंडस्ट्री का टैग दे देते हो ऑफिशियली, and you prioritize financial resources to be routed towards them, it will be easy for them to get financial resources as in loans. Then next pointer as to what government has to do is, government has to take into consideration better land acquisition policies with involvement of the families whose land has been taken in the overall project. For example, Jewar Airport. What is so special about Jewar Airport? That families from whom the land was acquired, they were made in a way stakeholders. Stakeholders मतलब उनको share नहीं मिला in Jewar Airport. What they got is, they basically got guarantee of economic development along with the airport. So they were guaranteed jobs. Their family members were guaranteed jobs and jobs were given also. ठीक है, they were guaranteed spaces to open their own organization. छोटा छोटा दुकान खोलने के लिए they were guaranteed space. What it did was it made them partner in the development of that era. The same can be applied over here. The same basically can be applied over here. Next, what can be done? Next, what can be done? India developing international relations just on the basis of pulling investments towards ships recycling industry. जैसे we had done it for pharmaceutical sectors, जैसे we had done it for IT sector. हम लोग गए ना दुनिया में, बोला ना we will give you better IT products. You have to invest in India. The same can be done on government front with respect to this industry. Obviously, the private sector has to take care of it, but government also has to mobilize its energy towards development of this sector through diplomacy. These are basically the way outs. These basically are the way outs. Any doubts? Any doubts, my dear friends? Yash, any doubt?
हाँ सर, एक डाउट है सर.
Please go ahead.
सर ये शिप रिसाइकलिंग पोर्ट्स है सर, यहाँ पे सर हर तरीके के शिप आएंगे ना सर, जो ट्रेडिंग शिप्स होते हैं और सर
Civilian
मिलिट्री.
ships. Civilian ships,
अच्छा,
not military ships.
ओके
Every
सर,
type of civilian ships, not military ships.
ठीक है सर.
ठीक है?
यस सर.
Okay. Okay. ठीक है. Mona, you are very silent today. What's the reason?
सर म्यूट है सर आप.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Now let us go to our defense collaboration with US. Now this news is important from prelims point of view, and you can use this news for the point of view of providing example in mains. ठीक है, उस तरह से उसको यूज कर सकते हैं. So what is it that you need to know about Apache helicopters and howitzer guns? So United States has approved military support for India. Military support for India. In what case? In the case of Apache helicopters and howitzer guns to be purchased by India. Now these two are very important armaments available with United States, NATO allies of United States. No country other than the NATO allies of United States does have Apache helicopter. Apache helicopter के बारे में अगर मैं बोलूं तो it is a twin engine attack helicopter. It is developed by Boeing, which is one of the biggest weapons manufacturers of the world. All right, it can be used for both attack and reconnaissance. Reconnaissance मतलब नजर रखना, ठीक है, to keep eye on something. Properties that it has are first and foremost it is anti-armor. ठीक है, anti-armor का मतलब है it can pierce armors of the tanks or other attack vehicles. Second thing is it can provide support in close air to air combat. It can provide support in air to land combat. It can provide support in transportations. So that is the benefit of Apache helicopter. That is basically the benefit of Apache helicopter. With respect to howitzer guns are long range artillery guns. Howitzer guns have been known in India. देखो, primarily ना this country was Swedish, but later it has moved on to United States. The company that creates howitzer guns na, they are primarily Swedish company, and then they had moved to United States. And what is the name of that company? Very famous company known in India, but it has थोड़ा उसका नाम खराब है, Bofors. ठीक है, तो Bofors is the company, name of the gun is Howitzer gun. ठीक है, तो both of them will be basically a good purchase for India. देखो, when Kargil war happened, I don't think कि you people were born at the time of Kargil war, but it is stated that India won Kargil. Of course, there was valor of our armed forces, no doubt about that. Our army fought very bravely, but from the point of view of war machinery, now Bofors guns or Howitzer guns played a very important. ठीक है, what are few qualities of Bofors gun? First quality of Bofors gun is it is a very long range artillery attack gun. Second, it is very accurate in comparison to other guns in its categories. Now, it is one of the most accurate. Third, detecting Bofors gun is very difficult from long away. Why? बहुत कम स्मोक वो छोड़ता है in comparison to other guns. Very less smokes, basically very less smoke and very less heat. It basically spreads out. So it is very difficult. It was very difficult during Kargil conflict to locate these guns and dismantle them by the Pakistanis who were sitting on the mountain tops. And therefore it was easier in a way for Indian army to give cover to its soldiers using this particular gun and attacking the bunkers of Pakistani mujahidins from the locations that were underneath the mountains. Also, they are easy to be carried. Socho Kashmir mein, in a very short period of time in Ladakh and Leh areas, we could carry this gun. They could be dismantled very easily mechanically, and they can be fixed very easily. बहुत जल्दी वो हो पाता है, ठीक है. So it is very easy in a way to place them, to mount them, and to use them. That are the benefits of Bofors guns or Howitzer guns. ठीक है. So now we are basically going to get the newer versions of it. This package also when it comes to Apache helicopter, it includes sale of spare parts and ancillary items. Second, we will also be getting repair and return services. All right, from Boeing itself. Third, we will be provided training. Our people will be provided training and technical assistance so that we do not have to run back to US again and again. ठीक है. There will be field service representatives, matlab some representatives of Boeing will be present in India for the purpose of looking into the functioning of Apache helicopters. ठीक है. Now this third point and fourth point, now training assistance. Yes. At this point of time, India is the only non-NATO country. At the point of time, I will take you to 1971. 1971 में, ठीक है, Pakistan basically had US made planes, right? And those planes, Reapers, ठीक है, those planes had to be maintained. United States is far from Pakistan. The nearest facility where you could basically repair and maintain these planes was in Israel. So Pakistan very innocently and foolishly what it did was it provided its planes to Israel before 1971 war. Looking into scenario, unko bhi pata tha the war will happen. As we knew the war will happen, they also knew war will happen. They basically provided these planes to Israel, not to Israel as such, but to the US company whose facility was in Israel. ठीक है, Israel ने वो planes ले लिए, अपने border में आने दिए. And when the war started, when Pakistan needed this plane, Israel said कि हम लोगों में there are some issues with respect to the planes and we need to inspect them. And what did Israel do? It did not provide the planes back to Pakistan in time. Why? Because Israel had good relations with India. ठीक है, because Israel had good relations with India. So Pakistan was short of many fighter planes during 71 war, which it could have used because of our diplomacy. Most importantly, though, because of absence of technical staff in Pakistan. So providing this technical assistance and having executives from Boeing or engineers from Boeing in India will become important if these helicopters are to be used by us safely and for our security, especially during the times of needs. So remember this. Remember this. All right. With respect to Hollister, again, we will get spare parts, we will get repair services, we will also get training and technical assistance. We will also get training and technical assistance. Okay. Moving on to the next news. Any questions? Any questions on this news? Acha, tell me, who approves the sale of American weapons, American made weapons to any other country? मतलब बोइंग ने तो प्लेन बना दिया, राइट? नाउ इट इज सेलिंग दैट प्लेन टू US Army or US Air Force for that matter. Now Boeing thinks that it would be better for them if they also could sell this particular plane to say India or say Kenya or Uganda, any other country. Boeing को तो फायदे से मतलब है ना. It is a private company and the plane is not manufactured by US government. It is manufactured by a private company. Private company in that way should have the right to go out and sell its products, right? But who decides on it? कि Boeing can sell these particular planes to India or not? Who will decide on it? Proposal will come from Pentagon. Proposal will come from the executive side, but it will be approved by the US Parliament. That is the Congress of US Congress. Okay, it will be approved from the US Congress. So it will not be like any other sale for that matter. Okay, it will not be like any other sale for that matter. Done? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let us move ahead now. Now we come to economy. Let us take a break of 2 minutes. Okay, let us take a break of 2 minutes. If you want to have tea or something like that, go ahead. Okay, please go ahead. Let us take a break of 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Shall we move ahead? आगे बढ़ा जाए? Tell me the name of RBI governor. अगर ये नहीं आया ना, you will have it from me. Tell me the name of RBI governor. अच्छा, संजय एम. Okay, Sanjay Malhotra. Good enough. Chalo. So what has Sanjay Malhotra decided, or what RBI as an institution has decided? RBI as an institution has decided that MSMEs, that is micro, small and medium enterprises, na, it will be supported for entrepreneurial growth. It will be the plank on the basis of which, na, entrepreneurial growth will take place, and therefore economic development will take place. Now, what are the benefits of MSMEs? What do you think are the benefits of MSMEs? So, if you take into consideration MSMEs, so 30% of our India's exports, na, it comes from MSMEs, be it from manufacturing sector or be it from service sectors. They come from MSMEs. So MSMEs are immensely important. Matlab in size they might be small, but with respect to the support that they provide for Indian economy, na, they are immense. Second thing with respect to MSMEs is they provide background support. Background support in sense that, for example, Tatas are manufacturing trucks. Okay. So obviously in the trucks, na, the screwdrivers that are used, Tata is not manufacturing them. Where does it come from? It comes from those screwdrivers, or those spare parts will come from MSMEs. All right, it will come from the MSMEs. Third point, why MSMEs are important? Because MSMEs are mostly labor based. Okay, they are labor based, so they provide a large amount of employment also. They basically provide a large amount of employment also. Then MSMEs are mostly located in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, so that controls migration into tier 1 cities, and that leads to the development of tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Many MSMEs are located in rural areas also, though they support rural economy. They basically support for rural economies also. Some MSMEs are also focused upon, for example, MSMEs related to textiles. They basically are focused upon female employees. Okay, so what does it bring? It brings female population in the mainstream of Indian economy. It provides them employment, and therefore creates the scope for gender equality. All right, it creates the scope for gender equality. Then, if you take into consideration, India's position right now with respect to manufacturing sector is not that good. We did not become, that is one of the failures of Indian economy, I will say, one of the obstacles in Indian economy. We never became a big manufacturing country. There were many reasons for it. We will someday discuss about it. There are many reasons for it that we did not become a big manufacturing country. Okay. And at this point of time now, bringing in some 50-20 manufacturing units in India, it will be difficult. It will basically be difficult. All right. In that way, it will be easy to create many smaller industries, many MSMEs. In that way, it will be easy to create many MSMEs, and on the basis of that, push the manufacturing sector of it. Okay. So the time now is to create the MSMEs which would, in total, push Indian economy ahead on the basis of manufacturing. Also, innovation is easy in smaller organizations like MSMEs. ठीक है, तो innovation के point of view से also what we see is MSMEs are important. I would say that research and development in bigger countries have better budgets, but also consider the fact that a big country na, it is like riding a truck. और ट्रक को आप अचानक से you cannot stop the truck in an instance. आप ब्रेक नहीं लगा सकते, or you cannot do a U-turn of a truck. On the other hand, it is easier to do basically a U-turn of, say, Maruti 800 or a smaller car. ठीक है, तो innovations may sometimes requires change in direction. That is easier in MSMEs than in large scale industries or large scale companies. ठीक है, many a times what happens is innovations are brought by smaller companies, and then those patents are purchased by bigger companies. ठीक है, तो even when research and development has more budget in bigger companies, the scope for implementing them is more in smaller companies, and therefore smaller companies are more oriented towards it. Also, smaller companies have better hunger, more hunger. ठीक है, they are driven by one or two and owners now. So those owners basically have the fire of pushing them in comparison to larger companies. So these are the benefits of MSMEs. ठीक है, plus if you bring in the element of entrepreneurship, obviously linked to innovation, but not just to innovation. ठीक है, if you bring in the element of entrepreneurship, there is a cause, there basically is a cause for faster development of theirs. ठीक है, increased development of theirs. So keep that in mind, keep that in focus. Now let us look into MSMEs. Let us look into MSMEs and what basically the RBI is saying. RBI governor basically has decided or stated that we will create entrepreneurship nursery in MSMEs and improve credit flow and formalization as policy priorities. Now, what is formalization of MSMEs or formalization of credit? Formalization of credit is you get money from an institute which is under the radar of RBI. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि तुमने कहीं से पैसा ले लिया from your relatives, from lending agents, ठीक है, which is dangerous in nature. You basically get your money from an institution. Because of that, what happens is you get it at low. You basically get it at low, rate of return. Second thing is that on many occasions, these institutions, for example, banks or MBFCs, they will provide for you a scrutiny of your project. So, for example, if I am today, creating IS pass, and I go to a bank for the purpose of loan, it might happen that I may get loan if my proposal is good. Now, it might also happen my proposal is good, but there are some shortcomings. I may not see it. शायद मैं वो देख नहीं पाऊंगा, but the bank will provide me the details. Why? Because bank has done these deals with many other MSMEs, many other entrepreneurs. ठीक है, so they can see the gaps which I cannot see. ठीक है, and that review I get it for free basically. Third thing is, in case of suppose the idea not working out, banks will not be so harsh on you. It will be a due process through which they will go for the purpose of taking back the money. So you are also secured in that way. The gundas will not come to your house for the purpose of taking away your money, for the purpose of recovering that money. Okay, so in that way you will be also secured. Na? You will also be secured. So these are some of the benefits of formalization. And of course, there is a case of once you get formalized, what will happen is your plant or your services provided, your unit will be on economic map of India. What it will do is, as you formalize your unit, now your workers will also get formalized and they will get the benefits. They will get the benefits that government has planned for them, government has implemented for them. So these are the benefits of formalization. These are the benefits of formalization. There are some disadvantages also with respect to MSMEs and formalization. Dekho, what happens is with respect to MSMEs, there are some demerits also with respect to MSMEs. What are those demerits? First demerit is that in India, there is no incentive as such to convert an MSME into a large corporation. That is missing. So, for example, there are tax rebates for MSMEs. उनको tax कम भरना पड़ता है, right? Now what happens is, if I get, मतलब मैंने शुरू किया एक company, for example, I create a manufacturing unit of slippers. ठीक है, मैं slipper बनाता हूँ. That we, मतलब flip flops, yes, slippers, what slippers, whatever you call them. ठीक है, footwears. I start them. It's working well. Now it is on the verge of growth. As a businessman, what should be my idea to go for the next stage? In India, many businessmen do not do it. Why they do not do it? Because they fear that as soon as they go on the next level, government will target them with taxes. ठीक है, देखो, there is something called as transition. ठीक है, there is something called as transition. Transition मतलब a phrase where company goes from suppose 5 crores to 6 crores. ठीक है, अब उस ट्रांजिशन में if I have to bear the burden, मेरा income has not exponentially increased ना. What has happened is I have converted, मतलब I have reached that level जहाँ पे now I will be a large scale company, but my earnings are still close to a small scale company or a medium scale company, right? But I will now be treated as a large scale company. I will think कि भाई, if I'm getting converted into large scale company, why should I take the tax burden when my income, even if it has crossed the barrier of a small scale company, it is close to the income of a small scale company na. मतलब suppose 5 crore is that barrier, company whose turnaround is more than 5 crores, suppose it is considered to be a large scale company. Now my company is earning 5 crore 50 lakhs. वैसे तो now I have fallen in the definition of large scale company, but still my income is closer to the small scale company na, that is 5 crores. Now what I will think, why should I get the burden of a large scale company, tax burden of large scale company? Secondly, I will not get the benefits of the schemes that government has launched for small scale companies or medium sized companies. Okay, I will not get the benefit of that. Third thing, with respect to MSMEs is and why they do not want to grow, why they do not showcase that, why they do not convert themselves into large scale companies is, rather than converting a company into a large scale company, one company into large scale company, they think it is better that you create a company but with different name, और उसको भी MSME बना के रखो, उसको भी MSME बना के रखो. Now what does it create? It creates the problem of totality. One company of say 500 crores, obviously will provide better benefits na, than I creating 10 companies of 5 crores or 100 companies of 5 crores. It is difficult for me also to manage. But then small manufacturers look at it in such a way that I will keep on getting the benefits of the schemes, and I will also not be pushed into paying the tax of large scale companies. So इससे better है कि I will create two companies that are small scale companies. It restricts their growth itself. Now they have to focus on two different units. On paper तो मतलब ठीक है. In reality you are managing one company only. But on paper, but with respect to law, you have to manage two different companies. It in itself is a tiresome job. वो अपने आप में एक tiresome job है. ठीक है. That is the reason. That basically is the reason कि small companies are not inclined towards converting them into a large corporation. One more factor is, if that day arises where a small company can get converted into large corporation through its dealing, what it will do is, most of its dealing it will do without taking it on paper. What it will lead to? It will lead to informalization of economy. Bhai, why was MSME supported in the first place? So that formalization of economy happens. Now that MSME is growing and it can get converted into large scale company, it feels it is profitable that I remain small scale. Dealing karna bhi hai na. Let's keep it off the record. Okay, because it is cheaper for them to work in that way. Baat khatam ho gayi. You are understanding? So that is why in India now we do not see many MSMEs getting converted into large scale companies. We do not see that. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Is it understood? Any doubt? चलो, let us move ahead. So RBI has observed June 2026 or dedicated June 2026 to be the month in which there will be increased awareness about MSME schemes and regulatory initiatives related to it. So they will let the people of India what benefits you can get if you want to open MSMEs, if you basically want to open MSMEs. Okay. With respect to registration and formalization of MSMEs in India, they can register. Now remember these two particular platforms. They can be asked in your prelims examination. One is Udyam and other is Udyam Assist. These two are the platforms on which registration of MSMEs takes place. Okay. As of March 2026, more than 7.9 crores MSMEs and informal micro enterprises have registered. So around 8 crore small sector industries we have. Around 8 crore. The number is good, but the number has to be more. ठीक है. देखो MSMEs का एक और फायदा I forgot to tell you. It provides you an avenue of employment other than agriculture. So MSMEs will be responsible or have been responsible to taking out labor from overpopulated agricultural sector. Agricultural sector mein na, we have something called as disguised employment, disguised unemployment. What is disguised unemployment? Suppose four people are working on a field, but the work on that field can still be done by two people. Two extra people are not productive at all. They are not bringing any productivity. They are basically not bringing in any productivity. In that case, the employment of these two people, na, this is called as disguised unemployment. Faltu cheez hai. They are not required only, but they are still working. So MSMEs are known, or they have in fact, lessened this problem of disguised unemployment in India. But still, there are miles to cover. 8 crore MSMEs in a country of 150 crore people is actually nothing. Also taking into consideration, India does not have a solid manufacturing base. ठीक है, ऐसा होता, if it would have been the case that we have a good manufacturing base and after that we have 8 crore, we basically have 8 crore MSMEs, so then that would have been a different thing. We do not have adequate manufacturing facilities. Our agricultural sector is overpopulated. So in that case, 8 crore is nothing. 8 crore basically is nothing. Okay, moving ahead. Udyam, just take into consideration difference between Udyam and Udyam Assist. Udyam is for MSMEs. Okay. Udyam is basically for small and medium enterprises. Udyam is basically for small and medium enterprises, and Udyam Assist is for micro enterprises. Udyam Assist is for micro enterprises. Okay. Let us take into consideration the economic profile of MSMEs or economic importance of MSMEs. According to government data, MSMEs contribute 31.1% of India's GDP. So India's GDP को contribution from MSMEs is of 31.1%. ठीक है. Out of this, 35% are manufacturing units. 35% are manufacturing units. So whatever we do not have in terms of big manufacturing units, now we try to cover it through MSMEs. Still that is not adequate, I will say. Still that is not adequate. Okay. Out of the total exports from India, the figure that I earlier said, now I want to correct it. Out of the total exports from India, 48% of the exports, or approximately 49%, it is 48 from 5, it is 48.58%. So almost 49% of the exports come from MSME sector. All right. Also, please understand, around 33 crore people are employed in MSMEs. 33 crore people. So after agriculture, the biggest employment sector or area for people in India is MSMEs. It is MSMEs. Okay. So what are benefits that MSMEs get from RBI? What are the benefits that MSMEs get from RBI? So in 2026 itself, RBI amended its lending directions. Okay, so there is something called as lending to MSME sector directions 2026. What we basically did is we created an amendment to this particular direction. Matlab, we created amendment to this particular regulation. And what amendment we did? Amendment prohibited banks for taking collateral securities. So bank will not take collateral securities now for loans up to 20 lakhs that are granted to micro and small enterprises. Banks will not take any collaterals. So bank will not take any guarantees as such. You do not have to mortgage anything as such for the purpose of getting loans of up to 20 lakh. Just give me a minute. My Didi has come. All right, moving on. It also allowed collateral free loans up to rupees 75 lakhs to medium enterprises. To medium enterprises. Now, this collateral of up to 75 lakhs is also available to those micro and small enterprises, also medium enterprises to there will be there only, which have good track record and financial position, which have good track record of loans and financial position. But that decision has been left to banks. ठीक है, banks will take that decision. ठीक है, आगे moving on. Moving on. In 2026 itself, RBI proposed to remove due diligence requirement for MSMEs. Why? Why this due diligence wala policy was removed?
सर लास्ट लाइन रिपीट कर दीजिए सर.
बोलो जोर से.
सर लास्ट लाइन रिपीट कर दीजिए सर.
देखो ड्यू डिलीजेंस है ना, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट बिफोर गिविंग लोन्स, बट द थिंग इज दैट ना, ड्यू डिलीजेंस it has been seen has led to corruption amongst bank officials. Banks will anyway conduct due diligence, there is no question of that, but due diligence based upon something called as discounted system. देखो क्या होता है ना, MSMEs are provided with a platform where what they do is they provide for their discounted products also. ठीक है, so in that section, if this due diligence is focused upon, what happens is that becomes an occasion on the basis of which bank officials conduct corruption, and it delays things, and it delays disbursement of loans. All right, to basically bring it under control, what RBI said is waive it off. ठीक है, waive it off. Moving ahead. Moving ahead. MSMEs continue to be part of priority sector lending. Now tell me what is priority sector lending. Now tell me what is priority. I'm coming to that, Shubhanil, don't worry. What is priority sector lending?
The banks have to give a certain amount from their loanable amount to certain sections.
Certain sectors, yes. Banks have to compulsorily give certain amount of money to certain sectors compulsorily. That is priority sector lending. So priority sector lending में सबसे important sector is agriculture, and second important sector is MSME, and second important sector is MSME. All right, I think with respect to MSMEs, totally we have covered, length and breadth we have covered. I don't think you will have problem with respect to MSMEs now. Overall, you will not have problems with respect to MSMEs now. Shubhranil, yes?
No sir.
Okay, so now write down problems faced by MSMEs in India. Write 5 points on what are the problems faced by MSMEs in India, why they do not go. Write 5 problems on it. 5 problems. ठीक है, MSME sector. चलो. Very good, Yash. Proud of you. Very well written. भाई जब
थैंक यू सर।
लिख सकते हो तो लिखते क्यों नहीं हो? That is my question.
सर अब स्टार्ट किया है सर, धीरे धीरे इम्प्रूव हो रहा है सर।
You are able to see ना the potential that you have. Yash, potential देख
यस
रहे हो ना
सर।
खुद का?
यस सर।
फिर अभी लिखना जरूरी है, ठीक है?
यस सर।
दिसंबर तक we have to finish the portion, finish the syllabus in writing. All right?
ओके सर।
Okay. बैंक formalities मत लिखो, not just bank formalities, but financial resources in general. One important point that is meeting, one important point that is missing, Shubhranil, is about skill development. ठीक है? That should also come. That should also come. ठीक है? So shall we go to the next? Yeah. Okay. So AI summit we had, I think we did not discuss. I thought we had discussed it last time, but we have not discussed it. So let us discuss it right now. Just give me a minute. Just give me. Okay. So let us look into it. Let us look into it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated India AI Impact Summit 2026. Now, if the question in next year, okay, now if the question next year is about AI, this summit has to be mentioned in your answer. And what Prime Minister has said in this particular summit, that has to go in. Okay. So India AI Impact Summit 2026 was inaugurated in New Delhi. Bharat Mandapam, they can ask you in prelims. In mains, it is not required to write Bharat Mandapam. In fact, it is not even required to write New Delhi mein hua tha. Only you have to mention that it had happened in India. Okay. In this particular summit, the Prime Minister of India, now this word is very important, stressed upon democratization of artificial intelligence. Democratization of artificial intelligence, very, very important this term. This has to be in your answer when it comes to AI. Even if the answer is not specifically asked about India, even if the answer is about the future of AI, ठीक है, then you have to state by it has to be democratized, ठीक है, and it has been stated by our prime minister also. And democratization means what? Making it a tool of inclusion and empowerment, making it a tool of inclusion and empowerment, especially for global south. Now this is important. India is not focusing only on itself, but it is focusing on global south, ठीक है. So there should be democratization of AI, it should be tool of inclusion and empowerment, and it should be the same for the entire global south. Next, there is a need to co-create, co-work and co-evolve. There is a need to co-create, co-work and co-evolve. Amongst whom? Amongst humans and amongst the machines. Amongst humans and amongst machines. Also, Prime Minister stated, also remember that Prime Minister stated that AI will serve as a global common good. AI will serve as global common good. All right. Moving on. What is outlook of India as such? What is the outlook of India as such with respect to AI? Very important, very important, very important. Please write it down. India sees at AI as an opportunity and blueprint for tomorrow. India sees at AI as an opportunity and a blueprint for tomorrow. Co-create मतलब there has to be collaboration between machine system and human system. देखो, there has to be collaboration between, what Prime Minister said is there has to be collaboration between humans first and foremost, and there has to be collaboration between platforms of AI, and then there has to be collaboration between humans and platforms also, and that will lead to co-create. All right. So it is not as if कि chat GPT है तो chat GPT अपना काम करेगा. Prime Minister is saying there is a need for co-creation between, say, chat GPT and Gemini. Got it, Shubhranil? So how does India look at AI? First and foremost, India looks at it as an opportunity and blueprint for tomorrow. Second, it looks at it from the point of view of developing technology at rapid speed. It looks at it from the point of developing technology at rapid speed. Third, India looks at it from the point of view of creating a talent pool. India looks at it from the point of view of creating a talent pool. And last but not the least, what it will do is AI will multiply human capabilities. Okay. India sees it as something that will magnify human capabilities, and therefore better work can be done. Okay. Better work in the sense work will be more smarter, work will be more impactful. Work will be more smarter, work will be more impactful. Moving on. India provided something called as Manav Vision. Again, very important. Manav, MANAV, capital. Everything should be in capital. India provided something called as Manav Vision. Now, what is Manav Vision for AI? Now, what basically is Manav Vision for AI? So, write down what each and every alphabet of it means. M is moral and ethical system. So, AI should be moral and ethical. M is moral and ethical system. A is accountable governance. A is accountable governance. N is national sovereignty. N is national sovereignty. Then again, A is accessible and inclusive. Then again, A is accessible and inclusive. And V is valid and legitimate. And V is valid and legitimate. With respect to humanity and AI, there are certain pointers that you have to remember. First and foremost, the question before humanity when it comes to AI, it is not what AI can do. Please understand this. The question before humanity when it comes to AI, it is not what AI can do. It is what we choose to make out of AI. Now, please write it down. एक statement दे रहा हूं that has to be compulsory in your answer when it comes to misuse of AI or future of AI. The key question is not what AI can do. Write down this statement. The key question is not what AI can do, but what humanity chooses to do with AI. But what humanity chooses to do with AI. Now, this brings us closer to nuclear technology. जैसे न्यूक्लियर पावर कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर बोथ कंस्ट्रक्टिव एंड डिस्ट्रक्टिव पर्पस ना, तो फॉल्ट ऑफ न्यूक्लियर पावर तो नहीं है उसमें. इट इज नॉट द fault of nuclear power कि it was used for killing thousands and thousands of people. Humanity chose to use nuclear power in that way as it did in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. AI is like an open sky whose commands has to be in human hands. AI is like an open sky whose command has to be in human hands. Shared development by AI will provide for safer and more inclusive growth. It will provide for safer and more inclusive growth. Okay, now let us look at how to make it better. Or what are some problems? Problems we have already discussed. ठीक है. What has to be done? यहाँ पे ना what Yash had said earlier in the earlier part of lecture that becomes very important. Digital content should carry authentic labels. The content created in AI space, what is necessary? Compulsory watermarking of the same is compulsory. Compulsory watermarking of them is necessary, is required. One more thing, the point that we missed, and it has to be part of your answer. Please, it has to be part of your answer. AI space must be child space and family guided. देखो, what a child will do with AI in his growing years, it is not known to us. Maybe it will attract him towards pornographic sites or pornographic content. Maybe it will attract him towards better learning, right? Therefore, AI has to be created or has to be used in child safe manner. Second, it has to be family guided for those who have children. So observation of parents with respect to use of AI by children is important. At this point of time, what is India's AI ecosystem? At this point of time, what is India's AI ecosystem? So first and foremost, India is building. Now write it down. Semiconductors, chips, quantum computers, and data centers as India's AI backbone. India is creating semiconductors, chips, quantum computers, and data centers as strong AI backbone. India's population provides for diversity, demography, and democratic use of AI. India's population provides for diversity in AI use, demography is such that it will be attracted towards AI, and it will also provide for democratic usage of AI. Democratic usage of AI का मतलब है the AI platform that I choose to use, I will use it. The way in which AI will be helpful to me, I will decide upon it. That is democratic use of AI. That is democratic use of AI. India is in the position to deploy globally the platforms that are successful in India. That platforms that are successful in the country. India is in the position to deploy globally the platforms that are successful in the country. देखो, an AI platform getting success in a country like India, na, it will be more appreciated than say a country like Norway or Sweden. Why? Because India has a large base of AI users. So if you are able to satisfy such large base of AI users, now what will happen is that platform will get attraction, that platform will get investment, that platform will get clientele globally. ठीक है? What is the motto of India? Now this line you can mention. ये बहुत अच्छा line है. This line you can mention. It will attract some marks. Design and develop in India. Design, write it down. Design and develop in India, comma. Deliver to the world, comma. And lastly, deliver to humanity. Design and develop in India, deliver to world, and deliver to sorry. Design and develop in India, deliver to the world, and उसके बाद deliver to humanity. Write this line. ठीक है, with respect to India's approach towards AI. ठीक है. UN General Secretary Antonio Guterres. UN General Secretary Antonio Guterres. What he has said? He has said that AI belongs to everyone and called upon global AI fund for developing countries. AI belongs to everyone and called upon global AI fund for developing countries. ठीक है, we'll stop here for the day. Home assignment वाला question I will put it on the WhatsApp group. ठीक है? I hope the lecture was beneficial. It was useful. Bye everyone.
Thank you, sir. Bye.